All right, guys, welcome to part 2 of this 2-part video. The awning brackets are on the truck. If you didn't see that, go back and watch that. But now we're going to get the Ironman 270 mounted up to those brackets. I am super pumped for this video. This is one of the brand new 270s from Ironman 4x4. It's the Deltawing 270. Obviously, I'm going to show you how to get it mounted up to the truck real quick, and then we'll kind of do an initial review of it. We're going to get it mounted tonight. Obviously, we're running out of daylight and it's storming, so we'll probably do the initial review tomorrow. But let me show you at least how to get it up on the truck, because that doesn't seem like too bad of an install. So you're going to get 2 packages when you order this. Obviously, the tent itself, which is right here, and then you're going to get a box. Inside this box, you're going to get a bag, and I'll show you what that is. You're going to get mounting brackets. Now, we're not going to use these because we have the extrusion overland bed rack, and they have their own mounting brackets that goes with their rack. But I will give you a look at these just in case you don't have an extrusion rack. It's pretty easy, self-explanatory on how these mount. But again, we're going to be using the extrusion brackets that we showed in the last video. So you're going to get 3 brackets that look like this. Like this here. And these will be what you're going to use if you don't have the extrusion rack and brackets. Now inside this bag, you're going to get a pretty neat little carrying case. You get instructions. Not going to need them obviously, but it's a pretty cool looking case. It has 3 pouches to it, and hopefully you can kind of see the decals on it. Up here is going to be your power cord for the lights. This tent does come with lights. Again, we'll go over that in more detail once we get the tent up on the truck. You're going to get all of your guy lines to secure the tent in windy or bad weather. And then down bottom, you can see a little logo on there. This is where you're going to get more lines, your stakes, and your mounting hardware is also going to be down in here as well. So that's everything you're going to get with the tent. Oh, and they also send the wrench you're going to need to do the install, and it's a ratcheting. So, yeah, they didn't go cheap on that. Closer look at the hardware. Different ways to attach this to different types of racks, of course. So it's pretty universal. You can basically find a way to mount this to any kind of rack that you have. So you get some U-bolts, your nylon locking nuts, washers, lock washers. These are brackets that you can use depending on what kind of rack you have to come up through the Ironman mounts, which again we won't be using, but I just wanted to kind of give you a quick look at the hardware that comes in the kit. Now, these bolts, the ones that look like this, these are going to go on the back of the tent, and no matter how you secure, this is basically what's going to go on the back of the tent and either secure it to the Ironman mounts or, again, in our case, the extrusion mounts. So let's go ahead and get that done. All right, first step is getting these bolts on the back of the tent. So we're just going to flip to the back side, and you can see it has these 2 tracks on here, okay? Come to either end, doesn't matter which end you're going to go to. It has Velcro. That's how it's going to be when you look at it. Just take the Velcro off, and in the corners here, the edges, you have these rubber plugs. Just go ahead and remove these 2 for right now. It's a very tight fit, which is good because it's going to help keep our bolts in there. And then we're going to take 3, the bolts that look like this, 3 on the top, and 3 on the bottom. And we can put our Velcro back together. End first, that goes down, that goes up. So now's the fun part where I'm probably going to need my wife's help to do this. We're going to have to line up those bolts that I just showed you, and they're going to be going through these holes right here on the brackets on the extrusion. We have them loose for right now for obvious reasons. We want to be able to slide them to get the tent to line up. And again, if you didn't see the last video on how to get these extrusion overland brackets installed, very simple video, go back and check it out. So this is why we're not going to be using the brackets that Ironman sent. We're going to be using the extrusion overland kit that you see here. So you can see having two people definitely makes it easier to at least get the hardware started. Nothing is tightened down just yet. You want it to be able to slide up and down, you know, to get it zeroed in as far as how high or low we want it. That's one of the perks of using the extrusion overland awning brackets. You know, we have that this whole big black bar to slide it up and down to really get it dialed in as far as how high we want it off the ground. Okay, so I'll give you a look at the back real quick. You can see the bolts that we put in the tracks of the tent pop through these silver corner brackets, and then it's a flat washer, lock washer, nylon locking nut. Okay, again, they're not tightened down yet because I want to be able to move this. Now, I know somebody's going to ask why we put 3 bolts in the top and 3 in the bottom when we're only using 4 out of those 6 right now. You can see there's 2 extra bolts that are not secured to anything just yet. I may end up adding a 3rd bracket right there. I'm going to get this positioned, get it secured down, and kind of see how good I feel about it, how secure it feels, how secure it feels. If I feel like I need to add a 3rd mounting bracket right there in the middle, I will. That's why I put those 2 bolts right down in there that you can see, the extra 2 in the tracks of the tent. Again, I may or may not use those. I'm not sure yet. If I end up not using them, I may just take them back out. No big deal. But I put them in there because I feel like I may be adding a 3rd contact point right there in the middle. So I'm going to get this positioned as far as how high I want it, get everything tightened down, and yeah, we'll see how secure it feels. We'll get it opened up, test this thing out. All right, guys, we've had this thing on the truck for a while now. We've already had it through a couple trips. Let me share with you the features on this thing, show you how easy it is to open up and pack up. So first, we'll open it up. All we got to do is open the Velcro on both sides. We're just going to unzip it. Undo the 2 straps. Swing it around. In the kit, you're going to get a couple of straps like this, and I'll give you a closer look. So we're just going to hook it on the loop right over here. So here's a little bit better look at the hooks and how you're going to secure it. There's a loop right here on this corner of the awning, and then I'm just using one of my one of my grab bars. You can use anything to hook it to. This is what the straps look like. You get a generous amount of extra length, and then it's got a hook and then the ratchet part. So basically, to tighten it, you're just going to pull one end. You can see how it gets shorter. If you want to, when it comes time to undo the awning, or if you want to let out some slack, there's a little latch right there on the back side. You pull it towards the hook, and you can see you can then pull out some slack. It's that easy, makes it super fast, super convenient to hook this thing up. I actually leave this strap. I just hook it right here to one of my bed stiffeners. That way when I come around with the awning, I can literally just grab it, hook it up. It takes me literally seconds to secure the awning. So hopefully you can see the massive amount of shade that this thing gives you. It's a little bit breezy today, and you can see it's sturdy as can be. That's one of the first things I noticed going back to my first trip with this thing when I took it up to New York. It was windy up there as well, and they do recommend using the legs. This is a freestanding awning. If you don't know what that means, it means basically you can use it as is. You don't have to put the legs down. They do recommend using the legs if it's windy or if it's really raining really hard, anything like that. But again, it is a little bit breezy today. I don't know if you can see the trees blowing a little bit, and it is rock solid. That's one of the first things I noticed. Very, very well built and stout. If you want to use the legs, literally all you got to do is undo the straps, and I'll get the camera up close and show you a little footage of how this works, but it's super easy and pretty self-explanatory. They're just going to swing down, lower the lower portion, and then you would just twist the lower portion and tighten them. And there's a total of 4 legs, the one that I just showed you, 2, 3, and then a 4th over there. But again, I'm not gonna lie to you, out of all the usage that I've gotten on this thing, I actually literally haven't used the legs once yet. Again, just be smart with it, but this thing is super well built, very sturdy. I was shocked up in New York when it was pretty windy. It was breezy for sure, and I didn't have to use the legs at all up there. Felt totally safe. not using them. So very well built, very stout, but you do have the 4 legs there if you need them. So the legs are just held in with these Velcro straps. You undo the strap, and then you'll take the lower portion. It has a little peg on it. There's a hole up in here that peg will sit in. So you literally just pull the leg back and it'll drop down. And then, as I mentioned, you just kind of get it where you want it, screw that bottom portion tight, and that's all there is to it. To put them back away, obviously self-explanatory. You're just gonna lift it up, pop that peg in its position there, lock it in place, put your Velcro strap back on. So you can also take your carrying bag with all your stuff in it, and on the bottom of the main housing, there's a track. You can take these straps and slide them in there and hang your bag just like that, and you can slide it anywhere along the track. You can go all the way down to the other end. Just another nice little feature, a nice little touch to where you can store this bag in those tracks and have it at the ready whenever you need it. Another great feature that they added is there's a pole right up in here, so if it is raining or coming down pretty good, all you got to do is pop this pole up like so, and this whole area of fabric is reinforced, so you don't have to worry about it ripping. But that's going to raise up the middle part of the awning, and the rain is just going to run off. So nice little touch. Not every awning thinks about, every company thinks about that with their awnings. When you're done, literally folds down just as easy. All right, so one of the last things I want to share with you is this does come with included lights. There's LED lights on each one of the 4 brackets or arms, whatever you want to call them. And I love how they did this connection. You don't have to screw anything in. You don't have to worry about doing anything like that. It's literally magnetic. So you're going to get your power cord that looks like this. It has 4 ends that look like that. And then the other side has a USB-A. Now you can plug this into whatever you want. I'm just using a little power bank like this. So I'm going to plug this into my power bank. And then you can literally just take your 4 sections and they just stick. There's a little spot. I'll take a picture or I'll show you when I get the camera off the tripod. There's a little spot on all 4 of the legs. They're magnetic, so they literally just stick right there like that. There's a controller on your power cord right here. Hit the power button and turn them on. Now I am going to get some footage at nighttime to show you. I'm kind of just showing you this part during the day so you can see what I'm talking about, but I will get some footage and share it with you at nighttime. But we'll turn it on and you can see, hopefully, here in the daylight, there's LEDs on every single one of the four arms. So there's 10 different brightness settings. Again, there's a plus and minus here on the little remote that's attached to the cord. There's also, let me turn them all the way up actually. Again, 10 different brightness settings. So we'll get them as high as we can just for right now for videoing purposes during the day. So you have this whiter light, which I'm not sure, maybe 5,000 or 6,000 K, whatever you want to call it. If you hit the power button again, it goes to a more yellowish type of light. If you hit it again, it goes to even a more yellowish, like a softer light. So, and again, on each setting, on all 3 light types, you have 10 different light settings. So completely adjustable, you know, to however bright you want them, or you know, whatever kind of color output you're looking for. And then if you hit the power button again, they go off. So disconnecting, literally just pull them off. So everything about this awning is set up for ease of use and to be able to get this thing up, tied down, lights on in literally minimal amount of time. I love everything about how they set this awning up and all of the features on it. All right, guys, so here's some nighttime footage of these lights in use. This is on the brightest setting on the whitest light, okay? As I mentioned, there's 10 different brightness settings. So again, this is the brightest. Whoops, go back up. So this is the brightest, and then we'll incrementally go down. You can see, hopefully this turns out on video. I know lighting on video is not the easiest to catch sometimes, so I'm hoping this turns out at least decent for you. So now you can see we're down to its lowest setting. If you hit the power button again, it's going to go to that like medium or like softer light. I'll show you, you know, we'll kind of jump it up to the brightness settings on this medium color. All 3 color settings have the 10 different brightness settings, just so you know. if you hit it again, it's going to go to even like a softer, warmer light. This is kind of my go-to when we're just hanging around the campsite. I love this third setting, or like the warmest, the softest light. It has an awesome output. It lights up everything under the awning very easily, and it extends out past the awning, of course. Not crazy far, just enough to give you a good look at what's going on around you. And again, this third or softest setting is hands down my favorite. I like to, if we're just kind of hanging around the campsite, you got a fire going, you need just a little bit of extra light. I like this third, or the warmest, softest light, and I like to dim it down all the way. So again, I hope this is turning out okay for you on camera. But there's a look at all three light colors, the output, and the brightness settings. Hopefully that helps you out. I'm really hoping that turned out all right on camera. And last thing real fast, I know somebody's gonna ask, with the legs up, the legs do kind of go in front of the LEDs, but as you can see, we'll go ahead and cycle through. Here we go on the first, let's go all the way up. So this is the brightest setting with the whitest light. So the legs do kind of block some of the light. I just wanted to point this out because, as I mentioned, I haven't used the legs in the field yet, not once. But again, it still puts out plenty of light, as you can see. We'll go ahead and go to the other color, or I'm sorry, the other light settings. And again, here we are on the warmest setting, my go-to. Still plenty of light output, even with the legs tucked up underneath, or I'm sorry, up against those LED strips. And when you're done for the day, it packs up just as easily as it unfolded. There you have it, guys, the brand new Deltawing 270 by Ironman 4x4. I am absolutely in love with this awning. I love everything about it. The ease of use, how quick you can take it, set it up or take it down, the quality on it, the sturdiness, everything about this thing is definitely worth having on the rig. It's come in handy on a couple different trips, and even outside of, you know, camping trips. We've used it just going to kids' games to stay out of the sun or the rain. The one day it was kind of drizzling. We stayed out of the rain. We were able to watch our son play football, and we stayed dry at the same time. So this thing is awesome to have on the truck. If you didn't see the original video on those brackets, go back and check that out. But if you have any questions on it, put them down below. I'll help you out the best I can. But if you're in the market for a 270, definitely give this Deltawing a look from Ironman 4x4. I could not be happier with it. So questions, comments, or concerns, drop them down below. As always, we'll help you out the best we can. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. We'll see you on the next one.